Hello, I am your host, Kathy Chester, and welcome to the Move It or Lose It podcast, a podcast about all things that move the mind, body, and soul. The Move It or Lose It podcast is for information, awareness, and inspirational purposes only. I am not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV. So please consult with your doctor before making any medical decisions. The views expressed by advertisers, guests, or contributors are their opinions and not necessarily the views of the Move It or Lose It podcast. Tell me about, Robbie, like what started the poetry? Like what did you do that before?
I used to maybe write little lyrics and things when I was younger, but I didn't write properly. It started, like I said, depression. So I was speaking to my counselor and he said to me, try a thought diary. So I tried to keep a thought diary, but I was
What does that mean? That people don't know what that is. What does that mean?
A thought diary. So just on Monday, how you feel, on Tuesday, how you feel. So mine looked like this. Monday, I'm rubbish. Tuesday, it's crap. Friday, I hate myself. And that was my thought diary. And then I'd read it back and I'd be like, that's well depressing.
Right.
And then one day I took a pen and a notebook and I sat on my bed and I wrote a poem. This Time it's called. That was the first poem I ever wrote. To do with my MS, and it was like Donna looked at me and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like hiding the paper from her. I'm like writing a poem. Like, how embarrassing. But I sort of lived with a stigma that poetry was like rubbish.
Would you like to? Do you want to read that? Would you read that one for us?
Yeah, if you like.
I would love it. I would love for people who have not heard it. You can read that one or anyone you want. Just choose one that you'd like to read.
You put me on the spot. I should have prepared for this.
I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. You're all right. Yeah, I'll read you this one.
Okay.
Definition of disabled: of someone having a physical or mental condition that limits their movements, senses, or activities. This is me. Now, I'm a disabled man, classed by the Oxford Dictionary, a dictionary that has no feelings, no emotions. It does not know me. Still, it's given me a label, one written in the book which publishes the language we speak, we read, we write. It has taken away my right to just be me. In this hashtag be kind world we live in, we should not have a stigma or be labelled. But the Oxford Dictionary gave me one. I'm Robbie, the definition of disabled.
Wow.
Thank you. It's just where I go to.
Yeah.
It's
I like that a lot. Where is that one in your book? That's called disabled, or what is that one called?
The definition of disabled.
The definition. And do you have them numbered?
No, I was terrible when I wrote it. There are not page numbers on there, so maybe fine. Yeah, it's on page 11.
Okay, and that's in your book, and you can get that where?
On Amazon.
Okay, thank you. So if you want to get that, and I'll have that at the bottom of the show notes too, where to get your book.
Okay, brilliant.
So you wrote that. So how long did that take you to write the book? So that was first. So you started writing poems, and then how did you decide to put it in a book?
I'd written so many. I just kept writing, because instead of writing in a thought diary, I would write verses and I would write short poems or long poems. And this was helping my depression. I couldn't wait to go back to my counselor and read it to him. And he was like, well, this is impressive. And so I wrote more and more, and then I would read them to Donna, and she would then understand how I was feeling, because I'm not very good at talking about my emotions.
Right.
So when she asked me if there's anything wrong, I'm like, no, I'm fine. Oh, what's the matter? Nothing. So I would write, and if I write about it, then she said to me that you can actually talk to me through this. You can write, and then now I can understand.
Because women, we will take anything.
Yeah.
If you want to write a poem, we'll take it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Write it anywhere. Just put it in anything on the bottom of a receipt. We'll take it. We just want some emotion from you.
Yeah. So I've been writing for ages, and before I launched Beneath the Tracksuit probably about 8 months after I'd started writing. So I'd already had all of this poetry. And then Donna said, maybe write a book. And then there was other suggestions about maybe write a book. And then I was like, but I don't know how to write a book. How do you write a book? And then I started. I spoke to a man, and he said to me, it's not hard. You can do it on your phone. He said, you can do it in Google Notes on your phone. I said, no, you can't. He said, yes, you can. You can do it in Google Notes on your phone. So I downloaded Google Documents, and I wrote a book on my phone with most of the poetry that was already written on my phone or on the notepad next to me. So I managed to write a book in bed on my phone. Because with MS, obviously, you spend a lot of time in bed. People don't see it. They see you smiling and happy. They don't see how much time you spend in bed. I spend a lot of time in bed. But yeah, I wrote a book on my phone. And then I uploaded it to Amazon, and I made a cover on my phone. I had no big publisher. I had no big marketing. I did have a friend help me with my grammar and punctuation. My friend Greg, he did an amazing job. I thought it was fine when I first gave it to him. Said, you'll be all right. There's not going to be many mistakes in there. And he gave it back to me with mistakes on every page.
It made me laugh because my best friend, whenever I write anything, she is a lobbyist, and she's funny because she does all my proofreading. And one time I happened to be there with her, and I was like, oh, I could never do this with you again. Because she talks out loud, and she's just like, dear God. And she just like, shoot. And I'm like, I'll just give this to you. I'm going to leave because my heart's breaking about how bad this is. So she's great at just taking out all of the crap that like, again, what I said to you earlier, my grammar gone, everything gone. Where do periods go? I don't know. So she's really good at just taking that and just slashing it all up. So we need that. So he did a good job at correcting it, the grammar and all that for you.
Yeah, no, he did an amazing job. And then I'd finished. I'd uploaded it onto Amazon, and I'd finished. It probably took about 6 months, 8 months to write it. But I already had, before I started writing it, I already had most of the material for it because I've already been writing it.
All the poems.
So what goes into it is it's genuine thoughts and genuine emotions that I go through, because I have a hard time writing about other stuff.
Sure.
I'm not very good at writing about the seasons, like a lot of poets do. I'm not very good at that. But writing about what's in here and what's in here and what I see in front of me, I do a much better job with. Like,
so how old are your kids?
My daughter's 14 and my
14?
son is 10. 14, yeah.
Oh, that's a great age.
Oh, yeah. No, they're brilliant.
I remember when my daughter was 13 and 14, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get through this, but if I do, the hormones raging. Yeah. So now, do you see any of that in them? Any of that artistic ability for poems, for poetry, writing?
Yeah, they're both brilliant with words. My daughter uses some of she uses how I've written stuff in like homework for her stuff. Like and I help her do her homework. So we're like yin and yang here. And my son as well, he'll take from me. He likes the little rhymes. He'll make little rhymes too. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, you really don't know what they're gonna. It's funny to watch. I have 5 total. So my husband and I got married. I was married for a long, long time and divorced, and the MS was just too much. And so divorced and remarried to a wonderful man. Now we have 5 together. So it is so interesting to see what they all do and become. And it's never what you have selected for them, at the age now that you select for them. This is what I command for you. That doesn't work. I command that you will be married to this person. That doesn't work either, but it all sounds fun. But it is interesting to see what they pick up like from you, different things that they do. And obviously, like I said before, I was always in love with sports and athletics and things like that. And my daughter is super athletic, and I've always just, it's just funny, like I said, to see as your kids grow, things that they'll pick up from you. Even with the multiple sclerosis, it's very interesting for me to watch how they are very sensitive in their line of work when they see someone that needs help with something, or their eyes are always looking like, oh, they need this, where other people won't catch it. Like, oh, they need the door open. They need this. Like, so it's very interesting to see the compassion or things that their eyeballs catch that they wouldn't. So I try to think of those things when I feel a little guilty that they had to grow up with this, that they also have a view that others won't have. So those are some positives. So back to you. So we talked a little bit about the symptoms and the progression that came in. So mentally and all of that stuff. The tracksuit. So where did you get the tracksuit? Where did that come in? Why did you decide on the tracksuit?
Well, when I was younger, 15, 16, 17, I lived in tracksuits because it was the cool thing then. So I did then. But as I got older, I tight jeans and always dressed really smart. But when you have MS, it's sort of, that can become difficult. I can't fit most of the equipment that I have to wear underneath a skin tight pair of jeans. Like, I have a foot splint, it doesn't fit under there. My FES, like the electrical gadgets I use for my feet, that doesn't really work in a pair of boots. And so my arm splint won't really fit underneath my leather jacket either.
Right.
So I went back to wearing tracksuits, just lays around in, and now I live in them. They're
it
easy
all
to
changes,
get on,
right?
easy to get on, easy to get off, very comfortable to wear, and you can put all of your stuff underneath it. And
yes, I love that.
Everything comes from beneath the tracksuit, and you can't see it.
So tell me, it's perfect. I love it. Tell me about Robbie, about your disabilities thus far. So how has the MS taken you from where it started to now? Where are you in your disability?
So now, so I'm on a stick everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I use a stick.
You mean like a pole? Like a pole? Okay.
No, an actual stick, a cane. So my balance is terrible. And I've got really weak legs, so I don't walk too far. So I use a scooter or a mark cart everywhere. And I'm only 34, but I recommend it to anybody that needs one. I was talking to my friend last night. He messaged me and he said he's finally got his scooter. A bit apprehensive about using it outside. It's very scary. It's very scary being 30 odd years old and getting in a scooter and driving it outside. The embarrassment that, oh my God, people are going to see me. What are they going to think? That plays psychologically in your head. Of course it does. But I love mine. I love my scooter. I spray painted it and I've got a Batman sticker on the front of it.
I love it.
I've got a Batman scooter and I own it. And this is what I said to him. Don't worry about it. It won't be long. You will then own it, because people are not really looking at you. They might do and go, oh, he's in a scooter. But they'll quickly forget about the fact that you're in a scooter. And next time they won't even pay attention to you that you're in a scooter. But the psychological effect of that is really, really difficult. Difficult.
I
said no at first. I am not getting in a scooter. I am not driving that thing around the supermarket. I'm not doing it. Donna always tells me off because I always say I'm not doing it, and then I end up doing it, and now I love it. But if I'd have just said earlier, there would have been a lot less of me whinging about not doing it.
For sure. But I love that you made it your own. And that's what I always told, for my kids and them growing up with me having the disease like your kids are, I always told them that I will fight this till the day I die, and you'll never not see me fighting this. However, if the day comes and mom has to get a scooter, it will be the freaking best scooter you'll ever see. I want flames. I want I want everything. I want when I'm at night, I want it to flame throw. I wanted to go so fast on it that cars will have to catch me. And they're like, okay. So they know how serious I am. I'm like, I want to be on the roller coaster. We have Cedar Point here. It's a crazy place to go I love roller coasters. So I'm so crazy, honestly, Robbie, that I will take Dramamine so that I won't get the spins, just so I can go on a roller coaster, a really fast one. So I'm like, I want mine to go so fast, it beats the roller coasters. They're like, I'm not thinking that's safe, but okay, mom. So they know, like, if I'm in one, I want to own it. I want it to be the coolest one ever. So I think, like, as you grow with the disease, you kind of like see the things, because you're going to get your infusions, your medication stuff, and you see the things that can happen. And obviously I do working with different patients, and I see it and I think, okay, that could be. In the beginning, you think, oh my gosh, that would be the worst thing. And then as you grow with it, you think, okay, I got through this part, I got through this, and it is what it is, but it's not going to take my life away. And I'm not going to allow it to take everything from me. And so do you feel like you're at that point with it?
Sometimes I can be very strong with it. I can be very strong with it, and I will not let it beat me. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be really good with this, and I own it. It doesn't own me. But I have plenty of periods where I'm like, I can't be bothered to fight this anymore. Just leave me alone. I want to go and hide in my bed. I get like that a lot, but it's an ongoing fight. I say this a lot. It's an ongoing battle within myself, and I refuse to lose. But sometimes I don't. I feel like it. But again, I try my best. My kids know I try my best. They help me, and then with my kids and Donna around me, I have the emotional support at home. She's very good. She knows if I'm in a mood, and she'll like know how to treat me, if you like, and she'll know how to make me feel better as well. So, I think that's so important. I love that. I can't wait to meet her. I'll have to put you guys in a together podcast with me and my husband. But I think the most important thing too, is I do that a lot with my husband, is I'm like, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at this and the MS. And I just need about 15 minutes away alone so I can just get right. Whether it may be just listening to a book on Audible that has a crazy life story that's way more insane than anything I could ever have, just so it makes me feel like my life's a little more normal. I may just need to hear like a thriller, crazy book. I don't know, but I just need a little time. And I think it's like whatever we can do just to get that like peace, that like strength, that just breathing time. And I like to just do some meditating sometimes. And I've got several different ways that I do that, whether it's one where I'll tense up my hands and then just release. And I'll do that from head to toe, or I'll just do breathing and, just be conscientious of, does some of that help with you? Do you do any meditating? No.
You're like looking at me like, nope, don't do that. So that sometimes can be a good way too. Because when I used to think of meditating, I used to think of like a lot of yoga stuff. I'm like, I don't think I could do that. But then I just learned how to do things on my own that kind of calm my breathing down, like diaphragm breathing that helped me calm down, rather than, I don't know. Meditation for me gave me like a weird kind of thought of what that would be. And I just couldn't quite get into it. I was always more like gym, weights, workout. And so meditation didn't really until I understood different ways to do it. So after I'll show you some different ways that aren't so kooky. But so now that you've done the first book, are you ready? Do you want to do a second one?
I have all sorts going on in the time being. Like there's an artist, Atom St. George. He paints, he has MS and he paints.
Yes.
And I'm working with him, and I read over his paint. He makes minute-long videos, and I make a poem to match his videos.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that's me and him. We're collabing there, and we're going to put a book together of paintings and poems from the painter and the poet.
I like that.
Yeah, and we're working well there. And I'm working on music. I just released my first EP. Called Beneath. So that's Beneath the Tracksuit, and I'm working with an artist. She's brilliant. She's a singer-songwriter, Ruin Art, Jen. She's absolutely fantastic as well. And we've just had our album released on Spotify. And it's released everywhere. I always say Spotify because that's what I have on my phone, but it's released everywhere.
I saw that.
And Atom, he painted the cover art for that as well.
I love that.
And yeah, and that's amazing. So at the minute I'm doing that, I am sort of halfway through my second book, the diagnosis story. I'm not crazy, because MS makes you feel crazy, right?
Absolutely.
Because I'm just, like I said, I was standing there like I'd had a stroke for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then what is not crazy about that? That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. But so yeah, what's not crazy about that? So I'm halfway through that, but I'm trying to work on other stuff, and I trying to do it all at once. It breaks me.
Yeah.
So Donna tells me this all the time. You can't do everything at once. And a counselor once said to me as well, and I sort of stick with this, that you can't eat an elephant whole. You have to like take it.
I think that's a book. Pieces. That's a kid's book too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is true, because I tend to do that as well. I tend to take it all on. Like I can do it, and then I'm just like, so it is true. Like you've got to like pace yourself, and you're doing a lot. You're getting the second book in. You've got this song now, and you're gonna, I assume, keep collaborating with this woman who's singing, right?
Yeah. Well, she makes the music. She hasn't really sung in any of the tracks that we've released so far, but in the future. But she makes all of the music, all the backing music to the poetry.
Yeah.
She's absolutely fantastic. And so yeah, so where it all goes, it keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, your poems are beautiful. They're great. They're so heartfelt. Some of them can be just like, I have to cry after, and they're really, really good. And I think you've got a niche in there that is just something that not all of us can do. Well, most of us can. And so I think that I would just encourage you to keep going, because it speaks to the hearts of so many, that you speak for us in ways that we can't get our words out. And so I'm just very encouraged by what you do. And I hope that you keep going, and you just slow down a little bit, so that you don't get so tired that you can't keep doing this, because it really is, it's a real gift that you have. And I hope that you know that. And I think I can see you going really far with that. And I definitely want to interview you with this second book that comes out. And I want to, I can see us doing some collaboration. I'll definitely have you and your wife in mind when we do our second one, with, because it is definitely a different way to, when you're living with MS or a different autoimmune disease, and your support person, and that best person for you is the person you live with, is your spouse. It adds such a different element to things. And so I think it is just a really neat story, in a way for other people to understand what it's like for us daily, what it's like for not just you and I, but for the family, and how the dynamic changes.
Yeah.
And so I really like that. And I think, what would you say in the last, since the pandemic and all that, has made the biggest impact on you and your family, as far as working together with multiple sclerosis?
I don't know. That's hard. It's, I suppose there's so many. They back me up, all of them. They all back me up. My daughter, my son, and obviously Donna. They all back me up through it. And it's I write the poetry, but it's sort of like a family thing beneath the Tracksuit's got going on. But we all work together, because we all have our own individual issues, and we work as a four around each of our issues. I don't want to go into too much of it, but we all work very well together as a four. Obviously, we're a normal family, so we all fight, We all like argue and do all the normal family stuff. Stop putting your stuff there, like, whatever. But we all worked so well as a four. It's fantastic. My daughter takes most of my photos.
That's awesome. You got great photos. I didn't know she did that.
Yeah, the ones that are obviously selfies, I take myself, but most of the others she took. Donna took some as well.
That's a great talent.
Yeah, my boy Phoenix, he likes to proofread some of my stuff and tell me when I've made a mistake. Yeah, he's done it a few times. He's gone, Dad, that's not right. It's like, oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's really great to have the whole family really involved in that. That's really is a testimony to how much they love you, or just want to make sure that you're that you're wrong. No, I really like that. It's really neat when the family can come together and really help out with that.
Yeah, it's World Book Day in like next week or the week after, and Phoenix is only 10, so I'm sure he will go to school as me, because
really,
I'm sure he will.
He's going to go to school as you.
Yeah, with the book, and because he's beneath the tracksuit, it's World Book Day, so I'm in a book.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he's got his own beneath the tracksuit T-shirt.
Do you have a video? Will you have a video of it?
Will I? I'll take a photo of him.
And definitely send it to me.
Yeah,
and I'll promote it with the podcast. Your son will be thrilled.
Oh, you have no idea. He's one for attention.
Good. Tell him to send me a little clip with it, and I'll put it on there.
Yeah, okay.
For sure. No, but Robbie, honestly, I've been wanting to do this with you, and I just can't tell you. I love all the different things that we're doing in the MS community, and all the different ways that our voices are being heard. And I know you said in the beginning you're not chatty, but not just talking, but our ways that we are, with our different gifts and talents, are able to put out the message of what it's like to have this, what our struggles are, what how you said this doesn't necessarily define who I am, but I want you to know the different things that it changes. And also it doesn't necessarily destroy my life. It has actually brought my family to a place where we do things together. And I feel the same way as a mom. It actually brought me to a place where I could see my kids differently than when everything was go, 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 go. I could actually then stop and see my kids and enjoy them in a much different way than I could, I think, if everything was just normal and busy, busy, busy. So I really appreciate you sharing with me today and sharing the poem with me. And I'm going to have all of the notes at the bottom. So don't stop the car. Don't try to write in your car. I will have it all on the bottom of the show notes. And so thank you so much, Robbie, for sharing. And if you have not read any of the poetry, you've not picked up the book, please go on to Amazon, order it. And I will let you know when the next book is coming out, and we'll have Robbie on again, and we'll go over the next book. So again, thank you so much for joining another episode of Beneath the Tracksuit and Move It or Lose It. We'll see you guys again. And again, Robbie, thank you so much. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Don't forget, what you don't move, you will lose. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Move It or Lose It podcast, where you can again find us wherever you like your podcast, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. Join us on that. And we can't wait to see you again. We're going to have a lot of exciting guests and working together. And as always, you'll hear us say at the end of every podcast, we are stronger together. So let's do it. Let's become stronger together. Have a great day.